Jack's mother, Martha, had always been fiercely protective of her only son. Her love for Jack bordered on obsession, and she saw every woman who entered his life as a threat. Jack, a handsome and hard-working young man, had no shortage of admirers. However, each of his relationships inexplicably ended in heartbreak, leaving him bewildered and hurt. Martha's subtle sabotage went unnoticed by Jack, who remained unaware of his mother's manipulative tactics. When Jack met Queen, there was an instant connection. Queen was kind-hearted, intelligent, and shared Jack's values and dreams. They quickly fell in love, and Jack felt that he had finally found the woman with whom he wanted to spend the rest of his life. Queen was everything he had ever hoped for in a partner, and he was determined not to let anything come between them. Aware of Martha's interference in his previous relationships, Jack and Queen decided to marry in secret. They hoped that by keeping their union hidden, they could outwit Martha's schemes. The couple eloped and had a small, intimate wedding, attended only by a few close friends who could be trusted to keep their secret. For a while, their plan seemed to work. Jack and Queen enjoyed a blissful honeymoon period, free from Martha's prying eyes and manipulative actions. They moved into a modest apartment on the outskirts of town, where they began to build their life together. Their days were filled with love and laughter, and they dreamed of starting a family. However, Martha's intuition was sharp, and it wasn't long before she sensed something was amiss. Jack's visits to her home became less frequent, and she noticed a change in his demeanor. Determined to uncover the truth, Martha began to investigate. She enlisted the help of neighbors and acquaintances, asking subtle questions and gathering information. Her persistence paid off when she finally discovered that Jack and Queen were married. Upon learning of their secret marriage, Martha's fury knew no bounds. She felt betrayed and humiliated, believing that Jack had chosen Queen over her. Her resentment towards Queen grew stronger, and she vowed to destroy their happiness. Martha's mind raced with thoughts of revenge, and she began to plot ways to drive a wedge between them. Jack and Queen, unaware of the storm brewing, continued to enjoy their life together. They faced the usual challenges that newlyweds encounter, but their love for each other provided a strong foundation. They worked hard to create a loving home, filled with warmth and affection. One evening, as they sat on their couch, Queen expressed her desire to start a family. Jack's heart swelled with joy at the thought of having children with the woman he loved. They talked late into the night, discussing their hopes and dreams for the future. Little did they know that Martha was about to unleash her wrath upon them. The next day, Martha paid an unannounced visit to their apartment. She arrived under the guise of wanting to reconcile and offer her blessings. Jack, ever the optimist, believed that his mother had finally come around. Queen, on the other hand, felt uneasy but chose to support Jack's decision to welcome Martha into their home. As Martha sat in their living room, her eyes scanned the apartment, taking in every detail. She forced a smile and pretended to be happy for them, but her mind was already working on her next move. She needed to find a way to drive a wedge between Jack and Queen, and she was willing to go to any lengths to achieve her goal. Martha began to subtly plant seeds of doubt in Jack's mind. She made offhand comments about Queen's loyalty and questioned her intentions. Jack, though initially dismissive, couldn't help but be affected by his mother's words. The doubts began to gnaw at him, causing tension between him and Queen. Queen, sensing the change in Jack, tried to address the issue. She reassured him of her love and commitment, but Jack's growing paranoia made it difficult for him to fully trust her. The once happy and harmonious home became a battleground of misunderstandings and accusations. Martha's plan was working. She watched with satisfaction as the cracks in Jack and Queen's relationship began to widen. However, her victory was short-lived. Queen, a woman of strong faith and resilience, refused to let Martha's schemes destroy their love. She suggested to Jack that they seek counseling to address their issues and rebuild their trust. Reluctantly, Jack agreed. The counseling sessions helped them to communicate better and understand each other's perspectives. Queen's unwavering support and patience began to heal the rift that Martha had caused. Slowly but surely, they began to rebuild their relationship, emerging stronger and more united. Martha, frustrated by their resilience, realized that she needed to take more drastic measures. She decided to seek the help of a traditional healer, hoping that dark magic would succeed where her manipulation had failed. She visited a notorious healer known for his powerful curses and asked him to cast a spell to ensure that Jack and Queen could never have children. The healer, sensing Martha's desperation, agreed to perform the ritual. He gave her a potion and a set of instructions, warning her that the consequences could be severe. Martha, blinded by her hatred for Queen, didn't care about the potential repercussions. She was willing to do whatever it took to destroy their happiness. One evening, under the cover of darkness, Martha sneaked into Jack and Queen's apartment. She poured the potion into their drinking water and recited the incantation as instructed by the healer. She left, feeling a sense of grim satisfaction, believing that she had finally succeeded in her quest to ruin their lives. Unaware of Martha's actions, Jack and Queen continued with their lives. They drank the tainted water, and soon after, Queen began to experience strange symptoms. She felt weak and nauseous, and her health started to deteriorate. Concerned, Jack took her to see a doctor, but despite numerous tests, the cause of her illness remained a mystery. As Queen's health continued to decline, she turned to her faith for strength. She spent hours in prayer, seeking divine intervention and guidance. One night, she had a vivid dream in which she saw a dark shadow hovering over their home, surrounded by a swarm of cockroaches. In the dream, she heard a voice telling her that she was under spiritual attack. Queen woke up with a start, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt a deep sense of urgency and knew that she needed to take action. She confided in Jack about her dream, and together they decided to seek help from their pastor. The pastor listened to their story and agreed to come to their home to perform a cleansing ritual. The pastor arrived the next day, armed with holy water and prayer. He walked through their apartment, praying fervently and sprinkling holy water in every corner. As he prayed, Queen felt a sense of peace wash over her. She believed that they were being protected and that the power of prayer would help them overcome the darkness that had been cast upon them. Despite the pastor's efforts, Queen's health continued to worsen. She lost weight and became increasingly weak. Jack, desperate to find a solution, decided to confront his mother. He visited Martha and demanded to know if she had anything to do with Queen's illness. Martha, feeling cornered, denied any involvement but couldn't hide the guilt in her eyes. Jack, sensing that his mother was hiding something, pressed her further. He reminded her of all the pain and suffering she had caused in his life and begged her to come clean. Martha, unable to bear the weight of her guilt any longer, finally broke down and confessed to everything. She told Jack about the potion and the healer, revealing the extent of her hatred for Queen. Jack was devastated by his mother's betrayal. He couldn't believe that she would go to such lengths to destroy his happiness. He returned home and told Queen everything. Together, they decided that they needed to take drastic action to protect themselves. They made the difficult decision to cut ties with Martha and move to a new place, far away from her influence. The move was not easy. Jack and Queen had to leave behind their friends, their jobs, and the life they had built together. But they knew that it was the only way to escape Martha's toxic influence. They found a small house in a quiet town and began the process of rebuilding their lives from scratch. As they settled into their new home, Queen's health began to improve. The distance from Martha and the fresh start seemed to have a positive effect on her well-being. Jack and Queen focused on their relationship, supporting each other through the challenges they faced. Their love grew stronger, and they found solace in the simple joys of life. However, Martha's actions had left deep scars. Jack struggled with feelings of anger and betrayal, and Queen had moments of fear and anxiety. They continued to rely on their faith, praying for strength and healing. Queen, determined to overcome the darkness that had plagued them, became even more fervent in her prayers. One night, as Queen knelt in prayer, she felt a sudden surge of strength and clarity. She realized that the only way to truly free themselves from the past was to forgive Martha. It was a difficult decision, but Queen knew that forgiveness was the key to their healing. She shared her revelation with Jack, and together they decided to forgive Martha, even if she never asked for it. Forgiveness was not an easy journey. It took time, patience, and a lot of soul-searching. Jack and Queen wrote letters to Martha, expressing their pain but also their decision to forgive her. They never sent the letters, but the act of writing them was cathartic. It allowed them to release the anger and resentment that had been weighing them down. As they continued to heal, Jack and Queen decided to revisit their dream of starting a family. They consulted with a fertility specialist and began exploring their options. The journey was filled with ups and downs, but they remained hopeful. Their faith and love for each other gave them the strength to keep going, no matter the challenges they faced. Years passed, and Jack and Queen had built a new life for themselves. They had moved on from the pain of the past and were focused on their future. One day, they received an unexpected letter from a lawyer. It was a summons to Martha's will reading. Jack was hesitant to attend, but Queen encouraged him to go, reminding him that forgiveness meant letting go of the past. At the will reading, Jack and Queen learned that Martha had fallen ill and was in her final days. She had left a note for them, expressing her desire to confess and seek forgiveness. The note revealed the pain of abandonment and lifelong jealousy that had fueled her actions. Martha explained that she had never felt truly loved and had clung to Jack out of fear of losing the only person who had ever cared for her. Martha's revelation was a turning point for Jack and Queen. It allowed them to see her actions in a new light, not as acts of pure malice, but as the desperate actions of a broken and fearful woman. They realized that her interference in their lives was a misguided attempt to hold on to the only family she had left. Jack and Queen decided to visit Martha in her final days. The reunion was emotional and filled with tears. Martha, frail and bedridden, looked at them with eyes filled with regret. She apologized for everything she had done and begged for their forgiveness. Jack, holding Queen's hand, told Martha that they had already forgiven her and that they wanted her to find peace. Martha's face softened, and she smiled for the first time in years. She passed away shortly after, surrounded by the love and forgiveness she had sought for so long. Her passing marked the end of a tumultuous chapter in Jack and Queen's lives and the beginning of a new one. With Martha's death, the shadow that had hung over Jack and Queen's lives lifted. They felt a sense of freedom and peace that they had never experienced before. They continued to pray and seek guidance, trusting that their faith would lead them to the life they had always dreamed of. In time, Queen became pregnant. The news brought immense joy to their lives, and they saw it as a sign of their renewed hope and the power of forgiveness. Their home was filled with laughter and love as they prepared for the arrival of their child. The struggles they had faced had only strengthened their bond, and they knew that they could overcome any obstacle together. Jack and Queen's journey was a testament to the power of love, faith, and forgiveness. They had faced unimaginable challenges but had emerged stronger and more united. Their story was a reminder that no matter how dark the path may seem, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Their love for each other and their unwavering faith had carried them through the darkest times, and they knew that their future was filled with endless possibilities. As they held their newborn baby in their arms, they felt a deep sense of gratitude for the life they had built and the lessons they had learned. Jack and Queen's story was not just a tale of struggle and hardship, but a celebration of resilience, hope, and the power of the human spirit. It was a reminder that even in the face of adversity, love can conquer all, and forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds. As they looked into their child's eyes, Jack and Queen knew that they were ready to face whatever the future held. Together, they had overcome the darkness, and together, they would embrace the light. Their journey had just begun, and they were ready to write the next chapter of their lives, hand in hand, with hearts full of love and faith.